Hello, this is Mark Morales, and I'm going to be talking today about Carl Sandburg's offense in Chicago. But I'd like to start with the offense. Yeah, at first glance, it looks like that Carl Sandburg is just talking about a fence going up around a house, and he describes it and the things that could go on with it. But on a deeper look, I mean, when you take into consideration what he says. Now the stone house on the lake is finished, and the workmen are beginning the fence. Well, the first thing you get is this house is being built on a lakefront, and it's a stone house. And properties on the lakefront are usually prime real estate, so they're very expensive. So he's basically telling the reader that the person who built this house is a rich person, and they're building it out of stone, which another thing that represents a lot of money. So this person building the house is a rich person. And he says the workmen are beginning a fence. So apparently, as we go on, we discover that Carl Sandburg just definitely doesn't like fences, and he's basically telling you why here. That he goes on to describe that the palings are made from iron bars with steel points that can stab the life out of any man who falls on them. And the fence, as it is a masterpiece, it'll shut off the rabble and the vagabonds. So he's basically telling the reader that that the rich people of the time are building up fences around them to shield themselves from the riffraff and the bad things that can happen to them, but at the same time they're actually missing out on some of the good things that could happen as well. And you get that, I got that from the line where he said, and the children looking for a place to play, the fence holds out all the bad, but children are looked on being a good thing or a positive thing. And he says that this fence is also going to keep out children looking for a place to play. So he's insinuating that the people behind the fence are going to miss out on the good things, as well as miss out on the good things while trying to avoid the bad things. So he finally ends up saying that passing through the bars and over the steel points will go nothing except death and the rain tomorrow. So he's basically stating here that you can't stop what's coming. You can't stop the inevitable, because no matter what kind of fence you put up, death is going to get through that fence. It'll get to you. You can't hide from it. And in any bad thing that's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's going to come to you. So there's no use in even putting up the fence, because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So that's what I think that he is saying in this, talking about fences that we build up. The other poem was Chicago, and this is a really great read here, because he starts off talking about it, and he doesn't paint a pretty picture. He starts off saying that Chicago is the hog butcher for the world. It's a tool maker, stacker of wheat, player of railroads, and the nation's freight handler, stormy, husky, brawling, city of the big shoulders, And so he paints this image, and he goes on talking about all the problems that the city has, talking about the women, the prostitutes, and how they're luring the farm boys, and how people, the gunmen, the murderers, they get caught, and they're only just to be set free again, and that on the faces of women and children, he's seen the marks of hunger. That it's really hard to make a living here, and excuse me. And after he says all this stuff, you have this really negative picture, but then he cries out to start painting something good about the city, that this city, he turns the tone around. Okay, it's from negative to positive, and he describes the city as being a fierce dog with a tongue lapping for action, cunning and savage, pitted against the wilderness. It's bareheaded, shoveling, wrecking, planning, building, breaking, rebuilding, describing that under all of the smoke and everything, the people of the city are the actual pulse, and they're the actual pulse of the city, and the city is only as good as the people in it, keeping it living and striving. So the city is constantly, they're building, it breaks and it rebuilds, and it's a living city. And the tone really turns at the end. He says bragging, laughing. That is, under the wrist is the pulse, talking about the people, and then under the ribs of the heart of the people, laughing the stormy, husky, brawling laughter of the youth, half naked, sweating, proud to be a hog butcher, the tool maker, the stacker of wheat, the player of the railroads, and the freight handler to the nation. So they're basically, he's saying he's proud to be from Chicago. Just with all this, yes, it is wrong, but hey, we're from here. This is our city, and despite it all, he's proud to be from Chicago. So anyway, this is my little video take on fences, the fence, and Chicago. Thanks.